headquartered in Brisbane, Australia. And so we build security and storm screens using stainless steel wire mesh and structural 6063 T6 or 5 grade aluminum frames. You'll no doubt run into us going forward because we are gaining more and more traction in the States with specifications through dealing with people like you who find a use or need for them and then spec our products. We want to give you a little bit of insight as to how the product is constructed, and then we want to show you that it is without doubt the strongest product available on the market. Now there are multiple uses for it. We've done some government buildings. I'll show you that one of those photos later. We've just sent 400 screens for the first school in Canada. There are a total of 4 of those schools there that are all being hardened for security in that case. The government building I'm going to show you later was just under $1 million in screens, and that was done for both security and for hurricane because it's in the Houston area. So our products are tested and approved to Category 4 hurricane rating. So if you're doing any work along the coast, whether it be the East Coast, the Gulf, we provide products for that as well. The advantage to our product is the strength. It's the strongest security / hurricane screens available in the world. And we'll show you how that is accomplished, and then we'll show you the results of that as we go into this meeting today. Feel free to stop me at any point. Happy to answer questions. I like interaction. It makes it easier on me. So the product is a 304 grade stainless steel wire mesh. It's 35 thousandths wire, 0.9 millimeters. We weave that wire and have a chemistry that has a very high tensile strength. And so instead of breaking when you impact the mesh, it stretches. And so because of that, we can take this product to home shows and for 12 to 14 straight days let the biggest guys in the world beat on it with a baseball bat, and they can't get into it. Now, where do we get the strength of it? By the way, eat, guys. Don't let me stop you down there.
I got a question.
Sure.
So it's always coated. Is that correct? Because 304 will rust.
The mesh is always coated with the 10-year powder coat.
Okay.
And to give you a little bit of background about Crimsafe, we got into the security business 25 years ago in Australia. Security screens, not storm screens, but the security screen side of the business has been around in Australia for 30 years. They've been putting security screens on buildings over there forever. And so the old products were either a perforated metal or an expanded metal. And we came along with this mesh 24 years ago actually and put it in the marketplace. And over the following 24 years, we became the leader and now control between 60 and 65% of the total Australian market. We did $70 million in security and what they call cyclone screens last year in Australia. Now to give you some insight as to how that compares here,
One
Australia.
more question. So
Yes.
the aluminum, it's always coated, right?
Everything has a 10-year powder coat.
Okay. And so, like in Houston, for example, you're probably concerned about not quite marine, but salt, humidity, blah, blah, blah. And so the coating takes care of that because there is a marine grade aluminum, but are y'all using that one?
316 is the marine grade aluminum. We use 304. The reason we use
No,
304.
stainless steel is 304 and 316.
316 grade stainless steel and 304 grade stainless steel.
Right.
So
Right.
316 grade is what they call the marine grade.
Right. I was talking about the aluminum. We talked about.
Oh, the aluminum.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So repeat
That's
your
okay.
question.
Okay, the aluminum, and I'm not familiar with that well with aluminum grading, but there is a marine aluminum they make boats and stuff out of. Is that what y'all are using, or y'all depending on the coating for that?
No, we're using structural grade aluminum. So it's the aluminum alloy that would be used for forming something that's load bearing.
Well, I mean, it could be load bearing, okay, so, but you're relying on the coating to protect your aluminum.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you,
To prevent aluminum oxide.
yeah, and so what do you do about the connection to the stainless steel and the aluminum?
I've got to hire him. This is my straight guy.
Yeah.
Roy, you want to pass those out?
Okay.
These are plans, I can tell.
Okay, good.
You're playing that just the way we practiced it.
Okay, good. All right.
I'm not going to give any
So you got neoprene between the two. Okay, good.
So we're the only screen manufacturer in the States or in Australia that goes the extra step to put an insulator between the mesh and the aluminum frame.
Okay.
And if you look at our screens, either in that broken down piece or in this angle, we get our strength from this patented clamp, the black clamp with the screws in it. If you look at that closer, you can see we put a hook on it. So we hook it inside the aluminum frame, and then we put teeth on both the clamp and on the extrusion. We then put a santoprene gasket material on the outside of the screen, and the clamp bar, the black bar that you see in here, has a pliable gasket material in it, so that when we screw the clamp bar through the mesh and through the backside of the frame, we get a full insulating property. It gets pulled into the pores of the mesh. Now that clamp bar has an international patent on it, and by hooking it in the frame, it gives us a lot of leverage. And then what we did additionally was we engineered the valleys of those teeth to accommodate 1 strand of 9mm wire. So if somebody tries to get through that screen, the worst that can happen is they pull it into the valley, it locks in place. Because the clamp bar has a hook leverage on it, it tightens down, and now you can't get the wire back out of the valley. And that's why you can beat on these things until you get tired and go home, and the screen won't come out of the frame. Okay?
I can't stay real long, so I just wanted to ask a few questions. So where do you manufacture the materials?
So we operate through 2 resources. We deal direct with contractors in areas where we don't have fabricating licensees on large commercial projects. And we also fabricate through licensed fabricators. Rory happens to be a licensed fabricator here in the state. We have one in Houston as well.
Yeah, the extrusions and the mesh, where do you get it?
Our extrusions are made currently by a aluminum extruder in Florida,
Oh, okay.
because that's where we were headquartered up 2 years ago. And we're working on qualifying ISO 9001 extruders in Florida.
Okay. So these guys, if we order some of these screens, of course, I'm sure there's not a standard size, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Everything's custom.
so you get the extrusions and the mesh material, and then you fabricate it to the particular situation that we have.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I'll
we
eat
make,
now.
I'm sorry?
So I'll eat now.
Okay, good. And so what I would like to do, and by the way, some of the buildings or the applications we're using this for now is, they've discovered that people who have mental incapacities due to age, Alzheimer's, yeah, I have some of it myself, dementia, Alzheimer's, that sort of thing. They've discovered that if they can get them out into the fresh air, they do a lot better. They're calmer, they tend to be more friendly. And so we're seeing a lot of homes, either the new homes being built all have screen enclosures on them. And as far as we know, those have all been spec'd with Crimsafe. And the retrofits now are being done. They're saying, okay, let's go back and add a screen enclosure to our facility. And so you'll see some of those specs coming down the road. We're doing a lot of enclosures now in hospitals with oxygen nitrogen tanks. Most of those are currently done in cinder block or something ornate. The problem they've had is that the kids have discovered they can break into these things and get in and crack the valves and sniff the nitrogen. And so they're being replaced with, in many cases, Crimsafe. In Florida, they're having to be done because they're having to be brought up to hurricane code. And so they're taking those down and putting Crimsafe screens around. It does 2 things. It keeps the intruder out, but it also allows them great visibility so they can see what's going on inside there. Okay. We're doing the Alzheimer's facilities. We've done 3 jails, 2 of which are here in Texas. In Australia, we've done almost all of the prisons. They've all got Crimsafe in them. We've done the outer windows, and about 3 or 4 years ago, they started a program where they're now having us put it on the bars inside the jail. It's eliminated 3 things. Hangings on the bars has been eliminated. Contraband passing back and forth between the cells, they can no longer do that. And probably the most greatest reason for it was in Australia, there's a law that if you have a fire in the common area of a prison, you have to open all the cells on that block. And so the guys were gathering together flammables, setting on fire, throwing it out in the hallways. And that releases all the doors. So this eliminates that. They can still start a fire, but all they can do is cook hot dogs in the cell with it, so they can't get out. Yeah. So we're doing that. So there are a lot of uses. We've done some busts, and I'm just trying to present to you guys some of the areas where the screens can be applicable. They can be bent. They can be all sorts of things can be done. We do some just for ornate reasons. Visibility through our screens is the same as a normal window screen. So there's no loss of visibility, no loss of airflow, no change in the bug capability, preventing bugs. And so it has all of those benefits plus security and or protection from hurricanes and cyclones. I wanted to show you real quick, if I can you go to the video on this for me? I told you we're the strongest screens in the world, and we're always trying to find ways to prove to people that there are no stronger security screens. And so our latest...
Somebody know how to work that thing? Is that ours?
That's